So if you are still, religiously tracking your website's keywords on some massive Excel spreadsheet.
Oh yeah, those endless rows of data.
Right, exactly. Trying to inch your way from page 3 to page 2 and just hoping to eventually crack page 1. I mean, I need to tell you right now that you are playing a game that ended months ago.
It really did. It's completely over.
The ladder to the top of the search results is just gone, vaporized. Today, for you, the listener, trying to get your business or your startup or just your ideas seen by users, it's a completely binary reality.
Yeah, binary is the perfect word for it.
Because either an AI answer engine explicitly cites your brand in its response, or you are completely invisible to millions of people. I mean, there is no page 2 in ChatGPT. Right?
No, absolutely not. And that on-off switch, that is the absolute definition of the paradigm shift we are living through right now in mid-2026.
It's terrifying for a lot of people.
I'm sure it is. We've moved entirely from, a spectrum of visibility to this brutal binary. You are either the verified answer or you simply do not exist in the ecosystem at all.
Well, welcome to the deep dive. We have a massive mission ahead of us today.
We really do. There's a lot to cover.
Yeah, we are unpacking a towering stack of notes, data, and analytics from the June 23, 2026 SEO Daily Technology Report.
And it is a dense report, let me tell you.
Super dense. But the overarching theme here, the thing you need to understand, whether you're a solo creator bootstrapping your first website or, a marketing director managing a Fortune 500 brand, is the total upheaval of search.
Right. How we find information online has just fundamentally changed.
Completely. The old rules of traditional SEO, search engine optimization, they're just no longer enough to keep your business alive.
And look, I know that sounds incredibly daunting to hear.
I mean, it sounds like a doomsday scenario for marketers.
It kind of does, yeah. We're navigating this rapid shift from SEO to what the industry now calls GEO, which is Generative Engine Optimization.
GEO, right.
But, the most reassuring takeaway from this massive report is that while the algorithms and the user interfaces have changed entirely, the fundamental objective has not.
Wait, really? So the goal is exactly the same?
Basically, yes. The AI is simply a new, highly sophisticated proxy for the human user. It's still looking for undeniable, high-quality value.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's look at the sheer scale of this proxy, because this shift from SEO to GEO isn't just some experimental fringe theory for tech nerds anymore, is it?
No, not at all. According to the June 2026 report, GEO is now the foundational discipline. It is the absolute present.
Yeah, because we are talking about ChatGPT having over 200 million weekly active users right now.
And Perplexity is handling over 100 million queries every single month.
That's insane. This is how the mainstream public is finding answers today.
Exactly. And the report actually pinpoints a very specific moment when this shifted from like an experimental phase to a mandatory strategy.
Oh, right. The May 2026 ChatGPT update.
Yes. That specific user interface update fundamentally altered the return on investment for content creators across the board.
How so? I mean, what actually changed on the screen?
Well, to understand why it was such a big deal, we need to break down the mechanics of how these engines were citing sources before the update.
Right, because they were already giving answers before May.
Yeah, they were. But prior to May 2026, when an AI like ChatGPT pulled information from your website to generate an answer, it just appended a tiny numerical citation at the end of the sentence.
Like a little bracketed number, maybe a 1 or a 2.
Exactly, just a tiny little footnote.
Which is like reading a Wikipedia article or, some dense academic paper. It's friction. Very few people are going out of their way to click those little footnotes.
And the click-through data supported exactly that. Users basically treated it as background noise. Didn't click.
But the May update changed that.
It changed everything. They integrated those citations directly into the natural language of the response.
Give me an example. What does that actually look like for the user?
So instead of outputting the best running shoes have a wide toe box, bracket 1, the AI now formulates the sentence as, according to Runner's World's latest testing, the best running shoes.
Oh, wow.
Right. And the words, Runner's World's latest testing, are a bright blue clickable hyperlink.
That is a massive difference. The data the report pulls from a platform called Profound really highlights the impact of that single tweak, doesn't it?
It's staggering. Profound tracked over 8 million referral visits.
8 million.
Yeah. And the moment that update went live, referrals from OpenAI jumped from roughly 158,000 to over 249,000 across their tracked data set.
Almost overnight.
Literally overnight. And the percentage of answers that actually contained a clickable brand URL skyrocketed from a measly 4 or 5% up to 22%.
That's wild. But I guess if you think about the psychology of that interaction from the user's perspective, it makes total sense.
Exactly. Think about it. The user asks this all-knowing oracle a highly specific question, right?
Right.
The oracle answers comprehensively and explicitly weeds your brand into its authoritative voice as the ultimate source of truth.
Like a direct inducement.
Exactly. The psychological trust transferred to that inline link is immense. It's a completely different level of intent compared to traditional search.
So if traditional SEO was like buying a giant billboard on a busy highway, just hoping thousands of drivers happen to look up at the exact right moment,
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
this new system feels totally different. It's like being personally recommended by the smartest person in the room. Which brings up a critical question, I think.
Okay, what's that?
How does an AI actually decide to pick your brand out of the millions of possibilities to be that inline link? I mean, if I'm a marketer, is keyword targeting officially dead? Should I just delete my keyword tracking tools today?
Well, keywords themselves aren't dead, no,
Yeah.
but the entire intent behind how we use them has completely shifted.
Okay, explain that. Because for years, it was all about exact matches.
Right. In the old days of traditional SEO, you were trying to match the exact phrasing a user might type into a search box. Let's say, best cheap auto insurance, New Jersey.
Oh yeah, the old keyword density trick. Making sure you force that exact awkward phrase into the subheadings 5 times so the crawler knew you were relevant.
Exactly. And that tactic is entirely obsolete now.
Good, because it always read so poorly.
It did. But now, large language models, LLMs, they do not count words. They look for semantic meaning.
Okay.
They operate in what computer scientists call high-dimensional vector spaces.
Wait. I need you to explain that. Because high-dimensional vector space sounds like astrophysics.
I know.
What does that actually mean for the listener who is just trying to write a solid blog post for their business?
Okay, imagine a massive three-dimensional map floating in space.
Okay, I'm picturing a big map.
And instead of cities or countries, every single point on that map is a concept.
Got it.
The LLM plots the concept of affordable car insurance in one area of the map, and it places the concept of the tri-state region near it.
Oh, I see.
It understands the relationship between those concepts mathematically. It really doesn't care if you type the exact string of letters for New Jersey.
So stuffing exact match keywords won't trigger the AI to cite you because it's looking at the whole neighborhood of ideas, not just the street sign.
Exactly. In fact, stuffing exact keywords actually sends a negative signal now because it reads as unnatural to the model.
It knows you're trying to game the system.
Yes. The AI is looking for comprehensive answers to underlying questions. It wants structured facts, statistics, and direct answers it can parse to formulate its own response.
So it's extracting your data to build its own answer.
Right. If your data is the most credible, the most comprehensive, and the easiest to extract from that conceptual map, you get the inline link.
That makes perfect sense for standalone AI engines like ChatGPT and Perplexity.
Yeah.
But, you know, the report dives heavily into the traditional giant of search, too.
You mean Google?
Yeah, Google. Because Google hasn't just been sitting still watching OpenAI steal its user base, right?
Yeah.
Is there any evidence in the report that Google is actually changing their interface to compete in this new GEO landscape?
Oh, absolutely. Google has been aggressively deploying its AI mode, and the adoption rate is staggering.
What kind of numbers are we talking about?
By December of 2025, just a few months after its initial launch, Google's AI mode exploded to 75 million users.
75 million. That's huge.
Yeah, that was a 4x growth spurt in essentially half a year. But the real inflection point was Google I/O on May 19th and 20th of 2026.
Did they fundamentally overhaul the search box interface at that conference? The report mentions it acting much more like an interactive assistant capable of processing text, images, and short video inputs.
They completely reimagined the search experience. They began generating comprehensive synthesized answers right at the very top of the results page.
Right. These are what we now call AI overviews, right?
Exactly, AI overviews. And they are appearing on the vast majority of both informational and commercial queries now.
Which pushed the traditional blue links far down the screen.
Way down, often below the fold entirely.
Okay, this is where I need to sound the alarm on behalf of the listener, because the statistics here are brutal.
They are definitely shocking at first glance.
The report states that the organic click-through rate, the percentage of people actually scrolling down and clicking on traditional search results, has plummeted by 61% for queries where an AI overview is present.
Yep, a 61% drop.
61%. I mean, if I run a niche travel blog or a local plumbing business, how is that not a total death sentence? If the AI is just answering the user's question immediately at the top of the page, my traditional traffic just vanishes.
I completely understand the panic. I really do. A 61% drop to your top of funnel traffic is a massive hit.
It sounds impossible to recover from.
But we cannot look at that metric in a vacuum. We have to look at the second half of that data point.
Okay, hit me with the silver lining.
Yes, traditional clicks are down 61%. But the brands who are explicitly cited within that AI overview see a 35% higher organic click-through rate than they did in the old traditional rankings.
Wait, let me push back on that. How is that mathematically possible?
It seemed counterintuitive, right?
Yeah. If fewer people are clicking overall, how are the cited brands seeing a 35% boost?
Because the AI overview is acting as a massive behavioral filter.
A filter? How so?
It is absorbing all the low-intent users, the people who just wanted a quick, superficial answer.
Oh, like people who just want to know what time it is or quick conversion rate?
Exactly. The people who were never going to buy your plumbing service or read your 3,000-word travel guide anyway. They get their quick answer and they leave.
Okay, so it weeds out the bounces.
Yes, but for the users who want actual depth, when they see your brand cited inside that AI summary, the trust factor is exponential.
So the clicks you do receive are highly qualified.
Highly qualified, highly motivated, and incredibly likely to convert.
Got it. The sheer volume of traffic drops, but the conversion rate of the traffic you do get spikes dramatically, quality over quantity.
Exactly. But to win that highly coveted placement inside the AI overview, you have to radically restructure how you write your content.
And there is one wildly specific tactical data point in this report that every single listener needs to internalize.
Yes, the 44.2% statistic.
This absolutely blew my mind when I read it. The report states that 44.2% of all large language model citations, meaning almost half of the time an AI decides to quote a source that information is pulled from the very first 30% of a page's text.
Just let that sink in. Nearly half of all citations come from the top 30% of your content.
That is wild.
This is what the industry is calling the front-loading secret.
Why is that happening, though? Why does the AI care so disproportionately about the introduction?
It comes down to how LLMs process information mathematically. They use what are called attention mechanisms.
The attention mechanisms.
Yeah, when an LLM reads your article, it doesn't read words sequentially the way a human does, left to right, top to bottom.
Okay.
It breaks the text down into tokens, which are essentially fractions of words or short words.
Right, tokens.
The attention mechanism assigns a mathematical weight to every single token, trying to calculate which tokens are the most important to the overall meaning of the document.
Okay, so it's scoring the text.
Exactly. And due to how these massive models are trained and a specific mathematical concept called positional encoding, the algorithm inherently favors the beginning of a document.
Oh, I see. It assumes that the most vital context and the thesis of the page are established early on.
Precisely.
So if I write a classic recipe blog post where I spend the first 2,000 words talking about my grandmother's kitchen in Tuscany.
Right, the classic recipe blog format.
Yeah, and then I do a whole meditation on the changing of the seasons, all before I actually list the ingredients for the chocolate chip cookies.
You are actively burying the value in the bottom 70% of the page.
Which we used to do on purpose, right?
Exactly. In traditional SEO, people did that on purpose to keep users scrolling, increase dwell time metrics, and to stuff in more secondary keywords along the way.
But in the era of GEO, that strategy is fatal.
It's completely fatal. The AI crawler hits your page looking for a definitive extractable recipe. It ingests the first 30%, finds a long, winding story about autumn leaves in Italy.
And calculates that the mathematical weight of those tokens does not answer the user's query about baking cookies.
Exactly. And it bounces.
It just moves on to a competitor who put the flour and sugar measurements right in the very first paragraph.
Precisely. You must front-load the value.
So what exactly should we be putting in that top 30%?
Put your strongest claims, your unique statistics, your definitive answers, and your custom graphics right at the very top.
Don't save the best for last.
Never. The top 30% is your audition for the AI. If you fail the audition there, it does not matter how brilliant your conclusion is. The algorithm will never mathematically process it.
Wow. Okay, so we know we have to front load our content, but there has to be more to getting an AI to trust us than just writing a punchy introduction.
Oh, there's a lot more.
The report dives deeply into something called machine-readable trust, and specifically entity SEO. I want to spend some real time unpacking this because it feels like a concept that was strictly for back-end developers a year ago and now is a mainstream requirement for anyone running a website.
It absolutely is. You can't ignore it anymore.
So to understand entity SEO, we need to go back to that map analogy, right?
Yes. Think of an LLM as a mapper of concepts, building a massive invisible web called a knowledge graph.
A knowledge graph. Okay.
And in that graph, an entity is a distinct, recognizable node.
What counts as an entity?
A person is an entity. A corporation is an entity. A specific product, a physical location, a historical event, those are all entities.
Okay, so how is that different from a keyword?
Well, traditional search engines matched strings of characters. If you searched the word apple, the old algorithm looked for pages containing the letters APPLE.
Right. It didn't know if you meant the fruit or the computer.
Exactly. But an AI understands Apple, the entity.
Yeah.
The multinational technology company founded by Steve Jobs, headquartered in Cupertino, that manufactures the iPhone.
It understands the rich context and the relationships of that entity to other entities.
Exactly.
So how do we actually communicate our context to the AI? How do I tell it that I'm an entity?
Through JSON-LD schema markup.
Okay, JSON-LD. What does that literally look like for a non-developer listening right now? If I am a local plumber or I run a small e-commerce store, what am I actually doing when I implement JSON-LD?
It sounds scary, but JSON-LD is basically a standardized vocabulary of code that you or a simple plugin on your website builder like WordPress or Shopify injects into the invisible background of your page.
So I don't actually have to write the code myself.
Usually no. A plugin handles it. It is essentially a series of key-value pairs inside curly brackets.
And what does it say?
It tells the AI crawler explicitly, without making it guess. The author of this page is Entity X, who is a licensed plumber. The business is located at Entity Y coordinates. We're selling product Z, which costs this exact amount in US dollars and has an aggregated 4.8-star review from 50 customers.
Oh, I love that. You are pre-packaging your website's unstructured data into the AI's native structured language.
Precisely. You're handing it the answers on a silver platter.
Now, the report specifically notes a massive resurgence in FAQ schema. Why is FAQ schema suddenly so valuable again?
Because AI assistants are fundamentally answer generation machines.
Right, users are asking them direct questions.
Exactly. So if you use FAQ schema, you are structurally formatting your content into the exact input-output format the AI wants. Question, answer, question, answer.
It makes your content incredibly simple for the AI to extract and drop directly into an AI overview without having to parse complex paragraphs.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there.
Okay, what's up?
Because I read the schema section of this report 3 times, and there is a glaring contradiction that I need you to clarify.
I think I know what you're going to say.
The report explicitly states, and I'm quoting here, surprisingly, recent studies show schema markup alone has no direct impact on AI visibility.
Yes, that is correct.
If it has no direct impact on visibility, why should any business owner waste their time or money dealing with JSON-LD code? That sounds like a colossal waste of resources.
I completely understand why that reads as a contradiction, but it comes down to the difference between claiming an identity and verifying an identity.
Okay, walk me through that.
Schema markup is the claim. It is the language.
Yeah.
But the facts you are claiming must be verifiable across the wider internet.
Give me an analogy for how that verification works.
Sure. Imagine you walk into a highly secure corporate building.
Okay.
You can't just slap a, "Hello, my name is the CEO," sticker on your shirt and expect the security guards to let you walk right into the boardroom.
Right, they'd tackle me.
Exactly. That sticker is your schema markup. It tells the building who you claim to be.
But the security guards, the AI engines, aren't just going to take my word for it based on a sticker.
Exactly. They are going to cross-reference your claim. They check the employee database. They look at your official ID. They ask the receptionist if they recognize you.
So anyone can write JSON-LD code claiming to be the world's leading expert on quantum physics.
Yes. And the AI does not blindly trust the code. It uses the code to cleanly identify the entity, but then it requires entity validation.
What does validation look like to an AI crawler?
It looks for consistency across the wider internet. Does this author's name show up in reputable industry publications?
Oh, like guest posts or interviews?
Right. Is there a consistent author bio across multiple trusted sites? Does the organization's official address match the business registry data it has in its training set?
Wow, it checks all of that.
It does. It is this entity validation, consistent naming, Clear relationships, verifiable facts that strongly correlates with getting cited.
So schema makes you machine readable.
But validation makes you machine trusted.
That is a perfect way to put it. And that bridges perfectly to the next pillar of building trust: freshness engineering.
Yes, freshness is huge.
The report explicitly says that simple content refreshing is dead. I remember, changing the published on date in WordPress to today's date used to give you a temporary traffic bump.
Oh yeah, the old date hack. AI crawlers heavily penalize that behavior now.
Really? A penalty?
Yes. A new date stamp on old, stale data is a massive negative trust signal. It reads as manipulative.
So what is real freshness engineering then?
Real freshness engineering is a substantive technical audit of the facts on your page.
Like checking the actual numbers.
Exactly. Have the statistics you cited changed since 2024? Are the software examples you're using outdated? You have to update the raw data, swap out old screenshots for modern interfaces, update your internal links.
And critically, I assume, reassess the search intent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does a user in 2026 want the same answer to this question that they wanted in 2023?
Yep.
Usually the answer is no.
Okay, but for a solo creator or even a small marketing team, managing a freshness calendar for hundreds of articles sounds completely overwhelming. How do you actually execute that without grinding new content production to a halt?
It requires strict triage. You do not engineer every single page on your site.
Okay, that's a relief. So what do you focus on?
You identify your top 20% most critical, high-traffic, high-conversion pages, and you schedule rigorous factual reviews for just them.
Just the core pages.
Right. You treat the update process with the exact same editorial importance as publishing a brand new article.
Because the stakes are that high.
They really are.
Mhm.
If an AI detects stale, outdated facts on your core pages, it will instantly discard your entire domain as a reliable citation source.
Wow. Okay, we need to talk about the third pillar of this machine-readable trust because this completely changes the definition of what SEO even is.
You're talking about user-generated content and brand reputation.
Yes, UGC. I am going to read a staggering statistic directly from the report, and I want to drill on this for a second.
Go for it.
Brands are 6.5 times more likely to be cited through third-party sources than their own domains. 6.5 times.
It is arguably the most important statistic in the entire report.
What does that mean practically?
It means that if an AI is going to recommend your software platform or your local service, it is exponentially more likely to pull that recommendation from a Reddit thread reviewing your software.
Or a tech blog mentioning your company.
A Quora answer discussing your service, yes, than it is to pull it directly from your beautifully optimized website.
Let me fully grasp the terrifying implication of this. I could spend $10,000 perfectly optimizing my site, coding my JSON LD schema, managing my freshness calendar, meticulously front-loading my top 30%.
Yep.
And the AI is still going to bypass my site entirely to, quote, a random user named TechGuy99 on Reddit who talked about my product.
Yes, it absolutely will.
Why? Why trust TechGuy99 over the actual source?
Because the AI is trying to simulate human judgment, and humans inherently know that companies are biased about themselves.
Sure, every company says they're the best.
Exactly. Your website, no matter how helpful, is inherently a piece of corporate marketing. We are witnessing the death of the corporate brochure website being the ultimate source of truth.
So the AI wants unbiased opinions.
Right. The AI engines are increasingly assessing brand reputation by scraping the internet for external validation. They want consensus.
Are real people actually talking about you? Are the reviews positive?
Is the sentiment authentically enthusiastic across independent platforms? That's what it's looking for.
This means SEO, public relations, and community management are now the exact same job.
They are completely inseparable functions now.
You can't just operate in a silo anymore.
You can no longer optimize your domain in a vacuum and expect to win. You need to be a guest on podcasts so the transcripts mention your expertise.
You need to be actively answering questions on Quora and Reddit.
You need a digital PR strategy that generates authentic conversation offsite because the AI considers the entire internet to be its database, not just your sitemap.
Okay, this is all fascinating, but practically speaking, how do we possibly track all of this?
It's definitely a challenge.
I mean, I can't just open an incognito browser, search my keywords, and see where I rank anymore.
Oh, no, because the AI gives a different answer every time, depending on the prompt history.
Right. So if I need to track my own website, my Reddit mentions, my entity validation, and my freshness across ChatGPT, Perplexity, Google AI, and Claude, how do teams track the invisible?
That exact problem has birthed the 2026 tech stack. because you cannot manage what you cannot measure.
Makes sense.
We are seeing highly specialized GEO tracking platforms mature rapidly to measure visibility within these closed AI systems.
The report lists Profound as the dominant platform in the space right now. It scored a 90.5 rating from Nick Lafferty, and it starts at $99 a month.
Profound is excellent.
I want to understand how it actually works, though, because the report mentions its key feature is query fanout detection.
Yes, query fanout is a crucial concept.
It states that ChatGPT generates 91% unique fanout queries, while Perplexity has an 88% overlap with the original prompt.
Those numbers are vital to strategy.
What exactly is a fanout query, and how is Profound detecting it?
Think of a fanout query like a game of Wikipedia racing, where you start on one broad topic and through a series of clicks end up somewhere completely unrelated.
Okay.
Let's say a user starts a ChatGPT prompt with, "What is the best CRM software for a small business?"
A very standard top-of-funnel research query.
Right. In traditional search, the interaction ends there. The user gets a list of links.
And they click one.
But in ChatGPT, the AI lists 5 CRM options. The user then replies, out of those 5, which one integrates best with a legacy Microsoft Outlook server?
Oh, so they narrow it down based on their specific situation.
Exactly. The AI answers. Then the user asks, and how much does that specific one cost if I have a team of 15 people and I want the premium analytics add-on?
The conversation branches out. It fans out from the original trump.
It deviates entirely into highly specific, personalized, long-tail territory that shares absolutely zero wording with the initial prompt.
And 91% of ChatGPT conversations do this.
91% exhibit this wild, unpredictable fan-out behavior.
So how does Profound track that?
Profound uses massive data sets, simulated query paths, and conversational tracking to detect how often your brand is cited deep within these branching conversational trees, not just on the initial prompt.
Wow. And Perplexity doesn't operate like this?
Not nearly to the same extent, no. Perplexity has an 88% overlap.
Meaning users treat it much more like a traditional research engine.
Yes. They ask a question, they get the verified facts and citations, and they mostly stay focused on that original research vector. They aren't having sprawling, hypothetical, multi-turn chats.
Let me synthesize this because this feels like a massive revelation for content strategy.
It is.
The 91% fan out on ChatGPT versus the 88% overlap on Perplexity. Does this mean a single, unified SEO strategy is doomed? Do we have to optimize entirely differently depending on which AI platform we are targeting?
That is the most critical realization in the entire tool landscape. A one-size-fits-all optimization strategy is officially dead.
You are essentially optimizing for the behavioral tendencies of the specific AI's user base.
Exactly. If you want to capture visibility in ChatGPT, you need deep conversational content that addresses highly specific, ultra-niche use cases and hypothetical scenarios.
Because that's where the fan-out conversations inevitably lead.
Right. But if you want to rank on Perplexity, you need dense, factual, structured, easily extractable answers that perfectly match direct research intent.
That perfectly explains why there's a whole spectrum of tools available now. Profound handles the fan-out mapping.
Yep.
But then the report lists Conductor as the #1 enterprise answer engine optimization tool, and it starts at $1,500 a month. That is a massive financial leap from $99. What does a massive corporation get for $1,500 a month?
The Conductor is the only end-to-end solution that combines this new AI visibility tracking with over 10 years of traditional SEO historical data.
So it merges the old world and the new world.
It's a unified data engine. An enterprise marketing team doesn't just want a dashboard showing they appeared in ChatGPT today.
Right. They need to know what to do with that information.
Conductor connects those AI citation insights directly to actionable technical health monitoring and content creation workflows across massive siloed departments.
Oh, so it assigns tasks to the writing team, the dev team.
Exactly. It tracks everything from Google AI overviews to obscure, specialized models like Grok and Copilot. It provides breadth and deep, actionable integration at scale.
But for the mid-market teams or the agencies who are feeling the squeeze of these premium software subscriptions, the report highlights SE ranking as the best value.
SE ranking is presenting a very aggressive challenge to the old guard of SEO software like SEMrush.
At $129 a month, what are you getting?
For $129 a month, you get 2,000 tracked traditional keywords, plus 100 AI prompts, plus Google Analytics 4 integration.
How does that compare to SEMrush?
For context, SEMrush's Pro Plus plan is sitting at $299 a month for lower limits.
Oh, wow, so it's a huge saving.
SE ranking gives you a unified view of Bing, Yahoo, traditional Google, and AI visibility all in one place. It's the pragmatic bridge for teams transitioning from the old world of SEO to the new world of GEO without bankrupting their software budget.
Okay, now we mentioned EEATClean earlier when we were talking about Freshness Engineering. The report calls it the must-have tool overall for trust and accuracy.
Yes, EEATClean is completely unique.
How does a software tool actually scan a website for a human concept like experience or trustworthiness?
It's fascinating because it is not a rank tracker. It is a rigorous content quality auditor.
Okay, so it's reading the content.
It cross-references your knowledge graph. It scans your site specifically for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness, and accuracy.
The classic EET factors. And how does software do that?
It looks at your author bios and cross-references those entities with LinkedIn, academic databases, and past publications to verify expertise.
It actually checks if the author is a real expert out in the world.
Yes. It flags factual errors by comparing your statistics against verified current datasets. It identifies weak sourcing.
Wow.
And it alerts you when a topic has become volatile, which perfectly powers that crucial freshness calendar we discussed.
Which is exactly why the report notes it is essential for YMYL sites.
Yes, your money, your life sites, like legal, finance, or health websites.
Because the stakes are so high?
The penalty for factual inaccuracy in a generative engine is incredibly severe. If an AI hallucinates bad medical advice or outdated tax information based on your content, it heavily damages the AI's reputation with the user.
So the engines are ruthlessly filtering out sites that lack strict editorial standards.
Exactly. EEATClean essentially automates the enforcement of those standards so you don't get penalized.
Okay, just to round out the tool stack, there's a whole new category of niche trackers. Otterly.AI is $29 a month, which is super budget-friendly.
Very accessible for beginners.
Writesonic ranges from $49 to $499, and the unique thing there is it monitors visibility but also produces the content in the same subscription.
Right, an all-in-one generation and tracking tool.
And Gumshoe at $63 a month, specializing in citation gap analysis.
But Gumshoe is a brilliant mechanical tool because it reverses the process.
How so?
It doesn't just tell you where you were cited. It analyzes your competitors, identifies the specific conversational branches where an AI cites them, but ignores you.
Oh, that's smart.
And then it highlights the exact factual gaps in your content that are causing the omission.
Like you didn't mention this specific API integration, so ChatGPT chose your competitor.
Exactly that.
Let's provide some real triage advice for the listener right now, because hearing this massive list of tools is completely overwhelming.
It's a lot to take in, for sure.
If I am a solo creator bootstrapping a business with zero budget versus a mid-sized company with a dedicated marketing team, what is the realistic hierarchy of needs? I mean, I can't buy all of these.
If you have zero budget, you do not buy any of these tools today.
Really? None of them?
None. Your triage is purely behavioral.
Meaning what?
You focus entirely on front-loading your top 30%, structuring your content with clear FAQ headings, and engaging authentically on Reddit and industry forums to build third-party consensus.
Okay, just the free manual labor.
Exactly. Now, if you have a small budget, a tool like Otterly for $29 gives you baseline visibility metrics so you aren't flying entirely blind.
And if I have a bigger team?
If you are a mid-sized team transitioning from traditional SEO, SE ranking at $129 is your logical bridge.
And leave Conductor to the massive corporations.
Right. You only scale up to the enterprise tools when your content production volume is so massive that it demands automated tracking and workflow integration.
Let's take a breath and zoom all the way out. We have covered a staggering amount of ground today unpacking this June 2026 tech report.
We really have.
The overarching reality is the absolute transition from traditional SEO to generative engine optimization. We established that AI search visibility is now a binary reality. You are either explicitly cited as the answer or you are completely invisible.
Exactly. We explored the mechanics behind the May 2026 ChatGPT update and how moving to inline branded hyperlinks dramatically shifted the ROI calculus by transferring immense psychological trust to cited brands.
We broke down the terrifying 61% drop in traditional organic clicks due to Google's AI overviews, but we found the silver lining.
Right, the 35% higher click-through rate if you actually make it inside that AI box.
which requires the absolute necessity of front-loading putting your most valuable data in the first 30% of your text, because that is where the LLM's attention mechanisms are pulling 44.2% of their citations.
We analyze the technical requirements of machine-readable trust, too.
Yeah, why JSON-LD schema is just the name tag, but consistent entity validation across the web is the security clearance.
The mandate of rigorous, factual freshness engineering, and the massive reality check that PR and SEO have merged, because you are 6.5 times more likely to be cited based on third-party conversations on Reddit or Quora than your own website.
The death of the corporate brochure.
The death of the corporate brochure, yes.
And finally, we navigated the incredibly fragmented tool ecosystem required to track all of this. Understanding the Wikipedia racing nature of a 91% ChatGPT query fanout versus an 88% Perplexity query overlap, and choosing the right tracking platform based on your specific scale and budget.
It is an immense amount of technical data to absorb. But I want to remind everyone listening that while the technology, the tools, and the terminology sound intimidating, the core principle beneath all of this remains deeply human.
Because it's trying to act like a human.
Exactly. The algorithms are just trying to simulate what a very smart, very discerning human researcher would do. They want undeniable credibility. They want fresh, accurate facts, and they want direct, unambiguous answers to complex questions.
So if you build your content strategy around those deeply human principles, you will naturally align with what the machines are mathematically looking to cite.
That's the secret. Be credible, be fresh, and answer the question directly.
But before we let you go, there's one last thread from this deep dive that I think is going to keep me awake tonight. And I want to hand it over to the expert to leave you with a final thought to really mull over.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time today talking about how AI engines increasingly rely on third-party conversations, Reddit threads, podcast transcripts, industry forums to validate your brand's expertise.
Right, looking for consensus outside of your own domain.
So my provocative question for you is this. If the AI is building its entire understanding of your business based on what other people are saying, who is controlling the narrative of your brand when you aren't in the room?
Wow.
And more importantly, as millions of AI crawlers silently read the entire internet to summarize your industry today, what exactly is the machine learning about you?
What is the machine learning about you? That is the question of the year. It brings us right back to where we started. The ladder is gone. The old diagnostic X-ray of search rankings is broken.
It's a brand new game.
We are in a binary world now.
Wow.
Are you the trusted recommendation or are you invisible? Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Stay curious, keep adapting, and keep exploring this wild, evolving digital landscape.